I'm feeling some sort of way, though. Looking all kinds of fresh, she licking all kinds of lips. Better not play with cash, I'm pulling up kinda threatening.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to What Do You Bring to the Table? I'm your host, none other than Tubbs, my Teletubbies. And I'm not alone today. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a superstar, actress, presenter, extraordinaire, fashion enthusiast. None other than Mahuma.
Oh my God.
Rapetsoa.
I literally begged you not to do that.
But I did.
I begged you.
I did.
Gosh.
I was actually shook. What does the name mean, love?
My name means, Mahuma means wealth, but nobody must be calling me by Mahuma, okay? If you know my family, don't be doing it.
Yeah.
Now it means gift.
Gift, no?
Yeah, so wealthy gift.
Rapetsoa, am I saying it right?
Rapetsoa, yeah.
I always feel like I say your surname wrong.
Everybody says my surname wrong.
Well,
and it's such an easy surname.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's like it's there for you to see. Like it's pretty self-explanatory.
Do you know how I read it the first time?
How did you read it the first time?
Rapetsoa.
No, it's just Rapetsoa.
Because I read it. I read everything in Xhosa in a way.
Yes.
So I read it exactly like that.
It's always the Goonies. Oh, bandla.
Sending guys. But besides that, Dasi, where are you from? Where are you
I am originally from Limpopo, Polokwane. I grew up in Pretoria. Why did you do that to your face?
No,
why did you do that with your face?
Because there's
Boy,
something...
fix your face. Fix your face right now.
Okay, no, there's just this common thing about people from Limpopo. Yes.
Oh, shut up.
Is it true?
No, it's not. I was literally, remember I said this to you and I was like, if you look at all the shows that have charism in them, it's all Xhosa shows. Think about it. Have you ever seen a single petty witchcraft show?
Some blood sounds, nyana.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
I feel
exactly.
you.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm originally from Limpopo, Polokwane. Polokwane, Limpopo. I grew up in Pretoria and now I reside in Johannesburg.
Johannesburg. And how was life growing up in this?
Life was pretty nice growing up. I mean, I didn't have like a hectic, I don't have a struggle story. Like I had a very comfortable.
You were very comfortable.
Yeah, my parents did the best that they could.
Best, no? It's like, what type of kid were you, bro?
I think I was me, but worse as a kid. Like I was very overly confident. I was a little bossy. I was like a princess, like the ultimate princess. Like I did whatever.
To the Mahuma Media Group.
So you see, I was like, I was a very bubbly kid. I was very confident. I was an overachiever, so I liked doing everything. I was a very bubbly, confident little princess, must know it all.
No.
Yeah.
So ADHD, jumping around,
I love being in control from the youngest age. So control is something that I always had.
Why though? Why do you like to?
Be in control. I don't know. I just, it's rooted in so many things. Now this feels like therapy.
Maybe it is. Maybe coming to What Do You Bring to the Table can be very therapeutic for all of you.
Oh my gosh. No, man, but I don't know. Control just gives me a sense of belonging. It sounds weird, but yeah.
Yeah, it's that power. It's nice to have power.
It's nice to have power, especially because we don't get a lot of power as women, so...
That is true. That is true. So, like, you literally, like, as I said, you grew up very comfortable. You have that.
Not very comfortable.
Okay.
I just grew up happy. Happy.
Okay, no, because now you're an heiress to the Mahuma Media Group, right?
I mean, that word heiress.
Yeah, because you're royalty,
The
dog.
pressure is getting
worse. Are you not a royalty?
I'm not a royalty.
You're giving
I'm just.
such vibes.
Thanks, darling. No, I'm just, hey man, but I'm not an heiress of anything, okay?
I feel like I chose that word specifically.
Why?
Boss you up, lady. You know what I'm saying? You're
Okay,
the
then
boss
I'll
lady.
take it. I'm an heiress. I'll take it. I'll take it.
What do they do actually, the Mahuma Media Group?
So Mahuma Media Group focuses on media communications. They focus on, there's multiple other aspects of it. There's construction, there's the catering, there's... They do a lot of things, but the main idea around it is media communications, all things media communications. They do communicating with the public in context to, raising awareness on certain things and so forth and so on. And yeah.
You mentioned we had a conversation that they do plays as well, also, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they write plays.
Yeah, so
is that what sparked the acting bug?
My grandfather and my father are writers and producers and directors and actors as well in their own right. So yeah, I guess growing up in that space really made me like
Bega no.
Yeah, like I just had to do it. It was just in my blood. You know what I'm saying?
It was in your blood.
It was in my blood.
So you said you from Limpopo and then you moved all the way to Pretoria. You went to South Downs College, right? In Centurion. You, judging from what I'm seeing now and how you were probably the biggest cool kid. High school.
She was
first
a cool
of
kid.
all,
I wouldn't say that. I just got along with a lot of people, and a lot of people got along with me. That's what it was. I wasn't a cool kid.
If I say that, that makes me a cool kid because I also actually did get along with everybody at high school. That makes me a cool kid, right?
No, it just makes you a lovely
kid.
person.
You are a cool kid.
I mean, that's subjective, but thank you.
That is subjective, okay. But how was your experience in high school?
I had a lovely high school experience, to be quite honest. I think, one of the best high school experiences I could have ever imagined. I didn't really, like I said, I was an overachiever. I loved everything. I'm a very, positive person just in general. I don't like to dwell too much in the negative. So yeah, high school was quite, I wouldn't say it was a breeze, but it was quite interesting. Only till
it was
the
a
end.
breeze for her, Tina Bisniso, I met and
No, please.
Maths had us, boy.
Did you do maths core?
I had to. I mean,
really? Why did you have to?
I did it because I was also kind of planning for the future if the performance part didn't get, you know.
So that was an option for you for it to not work out?
I had to be realistic.
Really?
I literally had to be realistic because I had to be realistic. If I don't become an actor, what am I going to do? I was going to be an accountant or...
That is crazy.
Study economics.
So you had a plan B?
You always have to have a plan B.
No, I did not.
Not all of us come from the media group.
No, but the thing is, that doesn't guarantee anything.
That's
though,
true.
You know,
though.
because my family is very big on we're not going to get you in if you didn't work for it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't guarantee anything. But I was always just there's nothing else. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could say that the accounting and economics was a plan B, but all my energy was actually channeled into being what I'm doing today.
Okay.
You know, you go to New York once upon a time. Right? You went to New York once upon a time?
I went to Los Angeles. I went to New York Film Academy in Los Angeles. But yeah, something like that. It's all in the same place or whatever.
Because Africa, the same way they say
Africa.
And everyone should just know each other in Africa. How was that though? How was LA?
Oh, that was amazing. I think that was probably one of the most memorable moments of my life. Some of the best weeks or months of my life. It was...
So you spent months?
No, it was it was just over a month. Just under 2 months.
That's a lot of time in LA.
I mean, but yeah, it was lovely. That was probably one of the greatest life experiences I had. It changed my perspective completely on what I want to do. And it also changed my perspective completely on the industry. I think it made me a lot more professional in a sense, because I think in our industry there's a lot more leeway with a lot of things. Our industry is a bit, sometimes people are working like they're being done favors, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
people
true.
don't work like they actually want to get this done. So there, the professionalism is extremely, whether you're a student, whether you're upcoming, whether you're any set that you get on, we're working. We're here to do what we have to do. Everybody's taking their job seriously. But yeah, it was a very graceful experience.
Yeah. So how's the black people there?
The black people, you know what? Funny enough, I think I was actually the only black girl in my class.
For that
time period, I was the only black girl in my class, and we were all living in the same apartment block. So we all had our own apartments and whatever in this apartment block, and I was the only black girl in my entire class.
How did that feel?
It felt
like Cape Town.
No, it actually. You know what the thing is? It really did, but it was so weird that Cape Town's probably worse. I don't know. It didn't feel as bad, I guess.
I'm from Cape Town. I haven't actually directly experienced racism,
really?
But you get hints of it.
Yes,
especially
you do.
with the colored people. Colored people, I'm not gonna lie, especially in Cape Town, they are very blunt about their racism. White people is wishy-washy, yeah.
I've never...
No, in my hood, they would say the K word. There's nothing. It's like a greeting type of thing.
Abashayin.
No.
Oh my God.
I mean, we're literally all friends.
And you're gonna call me friends, yes or man? I
think there's a different type of tone in which they say it. If they say it in a type of way I don't want to say it now, but there's it's a greeting. Or now, okay, this guy just blunt out being disrespectful.
Nigger. I said nigger.
It's what's up, my nigga? And if someone says, what's up, nigger?
No, the hell is not. Okay.
There's a difference between what's up, my nigga, and what's up, nigger.
Yeah, and the difference is the person. It's not the word or the tone.
Well,
It's the color of your
it's
skin.
the tone. But it's just the way that I grew up. You know, I never actually
That is
took offense.
crazy.
I never took offense to that word. I never actually took offense.
That is
Till this day, I do
wild.
not take offense to.
So if
Because
somebody walks in here, some random old white man walks in here and just says that word, you're just gonna.
what am I gonna do? It doesn't affect me.
Oh
It
my
doesn't make me
God.
feel less of a person.
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel less of a person.
You can
but
catch
need-
hands though,
No,
but
yeah,
the emotions, are not
okay.
gonna be there.
Okay.
The emotions are not gonna be there, but
Okay.
you don't catch hands.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Like, do you just let people get away with calling you derogatory terms?
But it never actually happened in my old age now.
Okay.
No
okay.
one has been like, "What's up?"
That's okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Like being a black person there, I was very. I think I was young at that point, and I'd also gone to like a predominantly white school, so I wasn't foreign to like being surrounded by non-black people. But I think when I was there, it was for the first time in my life actually, because I'm a very politically aware person, and my friends call me a Viva. So I'm a very like
Yeah,
I will
you need
call-
Viva, no.
My friends call me a Viva. Yesterday my friends were telling me that I'm
Oh,
a Viva girl. Like I'm like the head of women's
Amanda
ANC
la.
Women's League or whatever.
Yeah.
But like there for the first time in my life, I didn't care about like race, and I was just, it was so weird, but I was living in this like delusion of like I'm just here like everybody else, and
Yeah.
black or not, like I think I only picked it up once I left, or actually once I became an adult, like once I was fully an adult, I was like, oh wait, I was actually the only black girl there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I didn't feel like that.
You didn't step out of that
Yeah, I
zone
didn't
and be
step,
like,
I didn't look
let me
for
go
it.
holla at black people.
Yeah, because you know the thing is like when you dream of going to a place for so long, and you dream of being in a certain setting for so long, when you're finally there, the last thing on your mind is like all the political things and all the small things. Like you're just like, oh my God, I'm here. Like you're just extremely excited,
I can
especially
relate
at
to
that
that.
age, and
Yeah.
especially for the fact that I wasn't there for long enough to actually dwell into the politics of everything.
Yeah. I can relate to that with actually getting your first big gig. You don't pay attention to all the things
To
that
all the drama, right?
You know, you just there be
Yes.
like, I'm here to prove myself.
Yes,
Yeah, no.
exactly. You're just like super excited to just be like, I'm just here. And then somebody tells you about the drama. It's always the makeup and the wardrobe that tells you the drama. And then you're always just like, oh, should there's something happening? Oh, okay. But I'm not really bothered by that. So yeah.
But at some point, like, since you was like born under, you know, successful
Oh my
people.
God.
I keep saying this.
Oh my God.
Like, did you never actually feel some sort of pressure to succeed?
I did, of course I did. I'm like the first grandchild, the first daughter, my grandfather's namesake.
That's
like,
why you chose to overachieve.
It was like, yeah, like I had to. My childhood was, my parents were lovely parents, but there was very little space for, excuse my French, but fucking up. Like there was very little space.
Very little.
Like very little space.
Yeah.
Like even now still, there's very little space to do
space.
so, because it's just like when your parents are very open and honest with you, you get to see how much sacrifice they go through to give you the life that you currently have. And I don't know, that changes your perspective on a lot of things. Like you end up being in a position where you're just like, I can't afford to. Like forget them, I also can't afford to, because then what will my life amount to if I can't even show grace to my parents by actually committing to something? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just a thing of like, I was raised by perfectionists, so therefore I became a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And so like in a household full of people who are also very much perfectionists, you don't really have space to fumble.
Yeah.
You know, that's why all my younger siblings are they're living nice. Like my younger brothers are naughty as hell.
How old are
And they
they?
don't have to, well, my one younger brother's like 19. So he's an amazing human being, but he
Yeah.
does a lot more risque things than I could ever get away with.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
yeah.
Yeah, no, and look at you now, Mbani. Like I don't even
I'm
know how.
trying.
Like I think the list is so endless for all the things that you've done, and it started off YouTube, right?
I win. Not TV that's endless. No, but yeah, it all did
But
start
it's
on
endless.
YouTube.
It all started off YouTube, né?
Yeah, it did. I think my relationship with YouTube is very odd, because like things like going to LA and all of those other things, those things happened prior to me even popping on YouTube, you know? And the goal with YouTube was never to pop. Like it was never to become the biggest YouTuber. It was just like, I talk a lot, I enjoy talking, I enjoy entertaining people, so why not just do it, you know? But yeah, it started off, I guess, YouTube. I don't know. I could say it did. I
What
don't
was the
know.
choice of content? Like, what was your sole purpose of? This is what I'm gonna show people.
You mean from the beginning or from when I actually started getting it right?
So let's say the beginning
Okay.
to the act 2 to the
To
climax.
the climax.
Yes,
Okay. So once upon a time.
Yes.
No, but when I started, I was just. I was 15. Like I had no idea what I was doing. Of course, I just had a phone that I stacked on books from my windowsill, and I just talked into the camera, and I just uploaded those videos.
Because at that time we didn't have money for.
We didn't have money for tripods.
So we
and
stacking our phones
and-
on books.
Yeah, we're stacking our phones on books, just trying to catch the sunlight. Like there'd be days where I was traveling with my family, and I know that I have to film a video, and I literally make my parents like literally speed on the highway so we can get there before the sun sets because I need to film a video. Like I bullied everybody into being committed. So
that control.
yes, please. But yeah, that was basically the beginning. And then at some point, a friend of mine, Tando Mbele, said to me that he basically called my content whack. Right, but he
We
didn't
always thought
say
whack, guys.
Yeah, he basically called it whack, but in a very nice way. He just said it's not authentic. Like it's not you. It's not like the person you are on YouTube and the person that you are around your friends is like it's different. You know,
That's a great friend right there.
He was just telling me that the version of myself that's on YouTube was whitewashed. That's what he said. Like it was like Americanized, doing the challenges that the Americans do. So he was like, dude, just do something that's like you for once and just try it out. And then I guess I filmed the YouTube video which popped off, which I guess started everything. My I'm a Piano playlist, and I was actually never going to upload that thing. I didn't like it, but I was just like, you know what, it is what it is. Uploaded it, and then weeks later,
boom, boom, nigga.
Everything is going crazy. Yeah.
Let's shop at Act 2, and then what happened with the evolution of it all?
Boy, that thing was hard. Let me not lie to you.
Yeah.
It was hard. It happened when I was in matric, and I was super excited, right? I was super excited for matric because I was like, oh my God, I'm finally at the age where I can go out, go drinking, just go crazy, you know? Because my parents weren't very strict in context to going out, but like they got me so used to not going out at a young age that I'd always just been like, okay, in matric, I'm gonna go freaking crazy. You know, like I want everything to just break in matric. And then this whole YouTube thing happened, and it took like my life took the complete opposite direction of what I thought it would. I mean, for the better. Going out wasn't as easy as I wanted it to be because obviously now I can't be climbing tables and screaming I am as I wish to. You know what I'm saying? So I became very, very busy, and so much so that my teachers even used to call me a guest in matric. Like they'd be like, guest is here.
Oh, you were
yeah, they were like, our guest came to school today.
Like she decided to get an education.
She decided to get an education. So it was a very difficult decision for me to make in that year, just because I'm an overachiever, as I've said, and I like to be academically stimulated, and I like to, like my academics, I like to be like, you know? And in school, especially in high school, I remember I wanted to show up for everything and do like, if I'm going to do something, I'm doing it 100% the whole way. So now I was in a position where I was like, I'm going to have to actually either think of the long-term picture, which is I commit to my brand for this year and then do my best at school, or I slow down on the brand and I do my best and I commit to school, you know? And then I just said, man, school ain't paying me. I'm going to commit to the bag. I was like, I'm going to commit to the bag.
Whatever you do, always choose school.
No, please, guys, choose the bag.
She got lucky
choose
with
the
it.
bag.
Always choose school.
Choose the bag.
Always choose school.
No, okay, but like, you know, it wasn't a decision that I made. Like, there was already money coming in.
Yeah,
so
but you were
like,
in matric. So
I was in matric.
So it's like it's the end of one and the beginning of something else.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was the beginning of the
exactly.
end.
And getting like 5-digit amounts in your account at
in
18.
matric.
You've never seen that amount in your account, and now
you have a lot
you're seeing it like monthly. Now it's just like. As long as I pass matric,
this was all
I'm
of
gonna
YouTube?
do this. Yeah.
Okay.
But not just YouTube, like brand deals, campaigns, you know, all of that stuff. So yeah, that was basically that. And for the most part, I enjoyed it. Only afterwards, I realized like, it robbed me a bit of being able to be reckless. So like in my early 20s, in my late teens, I was never really able to be reckless.
Don't be reckless when you're 35. Don't be reckless when you're 35.
I'm so scared I'm going to be reckless at
Don't
35.
worry.
I'm going to be that mom.
I'll be there to hold your hand. Don't be reckless.
I'm going to be that mom wearing a bikini at my child's party. But yeah, man, yeah, then that was that.
Yeah.
I guess the rest
So
is
you genuinely making money off YouTube proper.
Well, at the time I was, but most of the money came from brand deals.
So I want you to always, because I like to educate people and put people on game. At what point, what specific stats do you need on YouTube to start coining?
I don't know what it is now, because I know that the terms and conditions have changed. When I started YouTube, you needed to have 1,000 subscribers and 14,000 watch hours, and then you could be monetized, meaning that ads could come onto your thing. And then if you have, like, YouTube is not like Instagram where it's like, okay, if the amount of followers and likes you get, that's it. For YouTube, it's like the amount of viewers, the amount of comments, the amount of likes, the amount of subscribers that you get, where your viewers come from, because then that also impacts the CPM. The CPM is basically like the value of each ad. So if most of your ads...
But Jelle, you need CPM.
I keep thinking but it's the
the
value
CPM.
of it.
It's the
CPM. But yeah, so it's dependent on that. So if you have a video, for example, that most of your viewers come from America, that video is going to make you a lot of money because the CPM there... I don't know why.
It's America.
But yeah, it's America.
It's America.
So the CPM there counts higher. And then in different countries and so forth and so on. So yeah, it's dependent on like a lot of things. That's why with YouTube, your best friend is like consistency.
No. And you are very consistent.
Well, not at the moment.
Yeah, but
Everybody hates me.
they hate you.
They hate me because I've been off YouTube for like 6 months now. And everyone's
Actually,
just like, no.
I can confirm that because I checked the last time. I was like, 6 months?
Yeah,
Wow,
the
what?
last time I uploaded a
Ntwana.
video was April.
April, nah?
Yeah, and the ice busy.
You even done a reality show
Oh,
on
Lord.
YouTube in Cape Town. I YouTubed in. I know, but it's died down, that's it.
That was not me. That was not
true.
I'm joking. Yes, actually, I did do the reality show for
How
my
was
friend's channel. It was actually very amazing.
Nah.
The post
Went to Cape
effects
Town,
were a
Europe.
lot more dramatic than what was actually
Happening.
So for
Wait,
me, it
so
was
what was
amazing.
actually happening and what were the posts like exacerbates and everything?
I mean, man, I don't really want to talk about it, but I guess in the brief of it is that the actual trip was very enjoyable until it wasn't. And then, you know how life is, man. When things aren't really going great, you just try your best to make the best of what's currently happening. So everything was great until it wasn't. And then we all just decided, you know what, we still have a few days here. Let's make the best of what we currently have. And then, yeah, that was that.
It was beef, man.
No, not really. Like,
Yeah.
it was actually... the climaxes were very high when they were high, but then the resolution to it was very mellow, and it was
Yes.
enjoyable for the most part.
For the most part. I mean, it is a reality show. We need a little bit of spice.
And that's the thing
know?
that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people are under the impression that it was a reality show that was planned to be a reality show, like dramatic and drama and tears and blood, and when it was actually just like trying to show people how YouTubers live and how we go about our things and all of that stuff. And then I guess obviously, as per any person in production, as per any producer, you have to make the decision of what could bring on the money and what could bring on value. And I think then obviously Tato saw an opportunity post filming that he could actually take on and be like, actually, I'm going to change the direction of this show. And then it took a different direction, which we were all shocked by, but it looked, I think honestly, we were all just happy for our friend, the hard work that he'd put in. So yeah, I think, I guess that's what it is.
It worked.
It worked.
I mean, I know the
guess.
ins and outs, but I'm under the impression you don't want to talk about it.
Not
that
at
much.
all.
You don't want to
Nah,
go
I
about
have
it.
no intention.
You mentioned also that
I leave school. Like, it has to happen.
It had to be like that
it
for
had
you.
to be like that for
Nah.
me. Like, I'm a very, like, if I'm going to do this, it's going to happen. Like,
Now you're also the cool kid at after.
oh, no, I'm not. I'm barely actually at after. That's the thing. Like, I'm
Oh, so you
barely.
grace after with your presence.
Just once in a while.
You know, you're just like,
Just once in a while.
you are there.
But yeah, man, it's just genuinely a thing of like just deciding what's important for you at that moment. So I had to realize after Generations, I had to be like, okay, I need to actually take a break from productions. Otherwise, I'm not going to finish my degree. Because then you miss assessment dates, and you know that they just, AFDA has this policy that's like you're not allowed to work outside while you're studying. It's a very odd policy.
But then a lot of people done it.
But you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and
So
they
that's what I
nailed
always
it.
told myself.
They
I'm not
nailed
the
it,
first
dude.
and I won't be the last.
You know?
So
Shout out to my ninja Tapelo Morapafela. He made it look so effortless.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You know, he was there like,
Exactly.
Today I'm missing my monologue. Why? Because he's got a commercial.
exactly.
but rest in peace to my nigga. Shout outs.
You know, and then you got the after, you got the gigs. What was your first gig?
My first gig was unmarried with the Ferguson.
Ferguson's the top dogs, the top G's.
Top dogs.
And then you went from unmarried, then you went to the Queen.
I went to the Queen, yeah.
So double time Ferguson.
Double time Ferguson.
How was that? Like, how was the Ferguson film atmosphere?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I think that's probably, I mean, I haven't worked on many sets, but of the sets that I've worked on, that's probably one of my favorites. I think the thing that I enjoyed most is that on both productions, I'd entered the shooting period when it had already started. So I didn't start in the beginning with anybody, right? And on both productions, there's such a big family feel, you know? Because, you know, like normally shooting limited series and shooting soapies is different. Because with soapies, it's like there's already a family, we're established, we already have a way of running things. And then with a limited series, it's like we're a family for now, but we're all, and then it's like, bye, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that kind of a setup where it's like getting to experience both of those setups with such a lovely group of people and such a lovely production company was such an honor for me. And especially like as my first opportunity, like I was just like as my first time entering the industry, I get to enter the industry in such a graceful manner. That was such an honor for me. Like, shout out to the Fergusons.
Shout out Mama County. Have you met Shona though? Did you?
I haven't.
You haven't? Unfortunately.
I haven't.
You know?
May sorry, rest in
Mama,
peace.
you know, Mama Connie.
I actually haven't properly met Makoni. Like, I
was just
haven't.
like
It was like
brush
I was on
shoulders.
set and I was reading my script and I just heard her say morning. And I was like, morning. When I look up at her, but she's already got up. I'm like, oh my God, morning. I'm sorry.
Flop number one.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Come back. And she's already
Flop
gone.
number one.
So
yeah,
I barely got to see her, but I got to see a lot of other people that were absolutely amazing.
But I'm sure you're going to one day.
Yes,
gonna
I actually
be
have
like,
to go visit
Call
soon.
now.
Right now.
I want it now in my house. And
No,
they'll be
yeah.
like, hello.
I have to go visit soon. I have
Nah.
to, yeah.
And then people were like, let's give this woman some generations.
Some generations.
Let's give her some generations. Let her play Bonga's sister.
Bonga's sister.
Dikele
The most
Limpopo.
hated girl on Generations.
Right now.
Right
How
now.
was that? How did you do this audition phase? How everything started?
I mean, obviously, as for always, your agent sends you a message or an email. Listen, here's a script, here's a brief. Do this thing, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. Another audition. Let's go for it. One thing about my agent, shout out to Bay, shout out to Nicholas. They will get you those auditions. You know,
Proper.
they will get you those auditions. So at this point, I'm just like, I see the email. As I scroll down, I see the email banner. It's like Generations of Legacy. I said, crazy.
Let us.
I said, okay, let's pull up our sleeves. And at this point, it was actually very funny because at this point, I had another shoot on the same day. So I had to cancel like a brand shoot. So it was literally about, am I going to go do this brand shoot and get this opportunity and probably get bank, or am I going to tell them, guys, I can't come to the shoot. I have to do an audition. And I was like, obviously...
The one is rolling the dice. The one is it's definite.
Yes, exactly. So it was like a thing of, I had to make that decision. Like, am I going to do this audition because they need it at a certain time? And if I go to the shoot, then I won't be able to do the audition, you know? So I was just like, I'm going to do the audition.
And you made the right choice.
I just decided to do the audition. And I'm very big on like manifestation and context to energy. So every single audition I do, I start living my life as though I've already gotten the role.
I thought I was the only one.
No, like I auditioned like I've already gotten the role. I'm already like looking at the schedule, the shooting period.
Yeah.
I'm like setting my life up, you know. So yeah, I did the Generations audition, send it through. My agent called me and he said nothing. I was doing another audition for another show at the time, and he was like, they want you for a callback for this one. Nothing from Jen yet, but I think they really like your audition. You're gonna get it. And I was like, you guys always say this, you know. Agents always tell. One thing about agents, they will tell you your audition was so good, and then when you're like, okay, so
Where's the job?
Where's the job?
Where's the job?
Where's the job? But yeah, so then he was like, you're gonna get it. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And then I just like let it go. Like I always let auditions just go.
Yeah.
Just because if you spend
Audition
every day
and forget
yeah,
that you ever
audition
done
and
it.
forget, yeah. So then called me I think 2 weeks later and he was like, you got the role. And I was like, what? And he's like, you got the role. And then that was that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Playing my sister. How was that experience though?
Playing your sister particularly was a bit tricky, okay? It's a bit tricky. No, I'm joking. I think playing with you on screen was absolutely amazing.
Nah.
You make it so easy. Difficult and easy. Because Tabile, the guys, like you're literally on sets trying to prepare. He's always getting shouted at on set. He was always getting shouted at. Every single day, Tepa was shouting at you.
ADHD guys.
Like, and I'm just like, Tabile, shh. and he's making jokes before we start rolling. And I'm like, my brother, you don't know, this company, they're famous for just kicking people out. I don't want to get kicked out. Get your shit together.
Trust me, guys. I always trust me to always make jokes.
Yo,
like,
but yeah,
guys.
man, it was. You made it hard to focus, but you made it very easy to play when we finally got into it.
No.
Yeah. So I think I genuinely very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a very different experience, very interesting experience.
So you transitioned from studio straight from location, nah? How was that?
That was probably the hardest thing that's ever happened to me this year. Like going from location shoots, and I've never done a studio shoot, by the way, like in any part of my career for anything, not even presenting, not nothing. And going from a location shoot to a studio shoot, and a studio shoot that has systems that have been running for decades. It's like there's nothing that you can say or do to change what's currently happening.
You have absolutely no power.
This is how we run things, and you better be good with it. And the thing that I really liked about the experience at Generations is that it really taught me discipline.
Yeah.
Like you learn a lot of discipline. Like you learn a lot of discipline in context to having to get the job done. And it also taught me to adapt to a system. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a very I'm a Gen Z baby. We're very I'm gonna do what I want when I want to do it.
You know,
you guys can't be telling us what to do.
You're
not my Mara. You know.
You're not my Mara.
You're not my Mara. But yeah, it was pleasant. It was a lovely experience. So grateful to have gotten the opportunity. Hopefully we go back. We don't know. They might kill us.
We will.
They might kill us.
I'm die hard, boy. Die hard.
How was it for you meeting your sister?
For me, the thing about me, I'm always intrigued with new characters.
Okay.
I made sure I was like, I'm gonna find out who's my sister. Who is my sister?
So did you also do some stalking before we actually got on set?
I didn't even know who you at all. I was like, who's my sister? Where's my sister? It's Udidi. I'm like, but that's the character name. Who
is she?
No one's telling me anything. I was like, okay, screw this. Get on set. Go to your knock. She in. She's like, yeah, she's in. Knock. I'm like, hi.
Yo, guys, let me tell you, Tabile,
hi.
Because I'm somebody who's very when I'm in a new space, I take time to adapt to people.
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm just to myself until I'm comfortable, then I speak. Nangumuntu. Out of nowhere opens my door and he's just like, hi, you're my sister. And I'm like, yes. It's like, yeah, no, I'm Sabile, you understand, run the lawns. And I'm just like, nigga, first of all, calm the hell down. Give me a moment. Hi, Nawe. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Hi, Bo. Can you relax? But yeah, I think I'm grateful you approached it in that way because it forced me to also just have to be I have to give you energy.
I like to do that. Extroverted, of course. A lot of energy within.
Yeah.
And give it out. You look like you are very down. Give it to you. Here's all this energy. And it was lovely. For me, it was like, round 3, keep coming back. But I just want to see exactly how this new dynamic was and how I was going to be interacting with my sister. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was that, it takes you back to how you are with your siblings.
Yeah, it does.
It genuinely
really
takes you back to how you are. And I realized, my brother and I, it's a lot of love. There's not love-hate. But with you and I on the screen, it was a lot of love-hate. But then we had that tender moment where we were actually explaining, our mom's actually like this. Stop giving her a hard time.
Yeah, and that was so different because your character was me.
It was you when I entered, and then you became me, and
I became
and
you,
then I
and then
became so calm.
You became so calm.
But I just want to ask you, as black children who come from very wealthy households, do you think that they actually speak like that, the way that they speak on Generations to their parents?
No.
Not at all, nah?
Not at all. But I mean, TV is about dramatizing everything. That is what storytelling is to make something so simple a lot more dramatic, because a lot of the times that's probably how privileged children wish to speak to their parents, but then your mom gives you that young,
boy.
And you're just like, oh, I'ma hold myself, you know. But it's not. It's obviously not realistic, but it's TV, man. Who likes realistic TV? Boring.
Then there would not be any inciting action.
There wouldn't be anything. People wouldn't hate Didi as much as they hate it.
Yeah.
They hate you.
They hate you and they love you at the same time. Do you know that? Because if they see you in the street, they go nuts.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. The thing that I appreciated is that I was like, okay, that means I'm doing my job. If I'm getting people to really hate this character, that means I'm doing my job. And that's the craziest thing is that when you're actually on set doing it, you don't really you don't really register what's happening, and then when you
Yeah.
see it on screen, you're like, damn.
I was actually.
Can't believe she said that.
I
She
said that with my
rude as
chest.
hell. She
With
is
my chest.
rude as hell.
Yeah. And then you was on Kaya FM about a couple of weeks ago, right? On Kaya FM. How was that?
Kaya FM was just like a nice social media website interview, which was very fun. It was a very pleasant experience for me personally.
Yeah.
I always love doing radio interviews, to be quite honest. I'm not very a big interview person. I'm not really a big fan
But she's
of
here.
interviews, but I'm here.
She's here.
I'm here. I had to do it for my boy. But I'm not very a big interview person just because I feel like sometimes interviewers get lazy.
Yeah.
And they ask you very like generic questions.
Basics.
Yeah, and you get tired of
like, oh my
answering
God,
the
like-
same questions. Like, why did you start YouTube? When did you start YouTube?
Like, yeah, bro.
Why are you an actor?
But why are you an actor? Because I like to tell stories.
I like to,
I like to.
Yeah, so
you
I
know?
get to a point where I'm just like, I had a point in my life where I really didn't enjoy interviews. So I was just like,
here's
I'm
a
tired.
very generic interview type question right here. It's coming right now, bro. So I'm gonna paraphrase you, right?
Okay.
So you sit there on the interview, I'm paraphrasing it right now. I love telling stories, about black women. Because black women are always represented, or people have generic ideas about black women. What are the generic ideas that South African men have about black women?
Do I really have to get into that?
We are already here, boy. We are here, boy. Okay, just give me 2 generic ideas. I will confirm that as a South African man who looks like he's from Nigeria. No, we don't.
You look like you're
No,
from
because I
where?
remember this one time I got into a cab and this guy was like, I thought you were Nigerian because I'd done my hair, and he's like,
Maybe it's because you're
surprised.
tall as well. Maybe. Which
Because,
is not a very
South
huge
African.
South African talent for men. So you're one of the special ones.
The chosen ones. Feels good to be chosen. But yeah, what are these generic ideas?
Honestly, I think just the ideas that men in general have about women are really just nonsensical. And then it's worse scare South African men in general. I think to a lot of South African men, women are less of a human being and they're equal and more of an object of their satisfaction. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in any way, it doesn't necessarily have to be sexual, but in any way, like a man, you'll hear a man describe his wife or the woman that he wants to be with, and 7 or 6 out of those 10 points are what is beneficial to him. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of like what works for me, what I want. I want a woman who can cook. I want a woman who can this and that and that. And it's just, it's all good and great. And I'm a very traditional girl, but I'm also very modern. So I
don't know why I did that.
I don't want somebody to feel that they are entitled to my acts of service. But I will do acts of service. Like gender roles,
Yes.
I am for gender roles, but I don't want entitlement towards certain things that I do. So with South African men, I think they a lot of the times describe a woman that they feel would be not just beneficial for them, but beneficial for the legacy that they want to build. Not really considering, does this person that is coming into your life not have their own plans? You know what I'm saying? So I think with a lot of times, South African men's ideals of what a partner is are things that are serving and serving
Wouldn't
and
that,
serving.
because that thing of, it's that marrying into the family, that he's now the head of the house, it's that thing of, I want to have this legacy and everybody must follow.
Yes.
According to that, it's that upbringing that we actually genuinely have.
It is an upbringing, but I think
We
the
like to
worst thing-
westernize a lot of our African ideologies. That's what I've noticed.
No, that's true. But I think the worst thing you can do as any human being when you are speaking about something that requires love and experiencing love is to limit yourself based off of ideologies. You know what I'm saying? Because then I feel like love is not something that comes to you with your permission. It doesn't ask you if you are comfortable with the way I'm making you feel. You know what I'm saying? And it's a choice that you make. I believe that love is a choice that you make, that I'm going to prioritize you over my personal desires. And so I think a lot of the times our South African men and a lot of South African households are basically encrypted with infidelity and with abuse of sorts and whatever the situation
With the
might
men
be.
or
With the men.
infidelity?
Yes, with the men.
But
That's
we
why a
understand
lot
why
of-
that actually exists. It's not only a South African thing. It's
No, yes. But I'm
all over
talking
the world.
about in this context where it's more a matter of you've told yourself this is the kind of woman that you want, not remembering that people evolve. And
Yes.
then you have a lot of things of like, oh no, you're changing. You're not the woman I married. You're not the this. You're not the that. And it's like, but then how do you as a human being feel like you're evolving if you're not having somebody that is your partner that's also evolving with you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like a lot of South African men are against the idea of
The woman evolving.
their woman evolving.
I mean, my woman must evolve. The more I
If it does,
evolve,
but when it stops benefiting you, instead of adapting to how you can help her evolve, you're just like, I'm so happy you're evolving, but I'm not feeling like I'm a priority
so
anymore.
would you think that's why hypergamy exists? Women marry up so that they have the resources that could help them evolve.
Yes, definitely. But
Yeah.
not even just, I think a lot of women marry up just because the world doesn't allow us a lot of space to be the best version of ourselves. And so if you're going to be marrying somebody and you're going to be committing your life to somebody, you want to commit your life to somebody who has seen a lot more of the world than maybe you have, or seen just as much of the world as you have, and has just as much life experience or has a lot more life experience, because that is somebody who will allow you the space to also go out and do those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is men have soft egos. Men have very fragile egos, and men love to have their egos stroked. Like it's an obsession. You know what I'm saying?
The same way Xhosa women love money. They
Oh,
love our
okay.
egos to be
You
stroked.
see what I'm saying? So it's just a thing of like, man, marrying, amen, to each their own. But for me personally,
Yeah.
I just believe in always wanting the best for yourself. And if
Yeah.
you feel that the best for yourself is up, then baby, we going up.
We're going
We
up.
going up.
So there's this. It's the premise of the show now.
Okay.
No. What do you bring to the table? What are you bringing? Don't tell me I am the table. Don't tell me you are the table. Because if you tell me you are the table, you are going to do a monologue.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I didn't pay you, so we are not
I
doing
don't.
monologues.
We're
We are
not about to do that.
you
My
know,
agent would not approve of that. So
know,
unfortunately
not even mine.
No, sorry. What do I bring to the table? This is so hard.
Yeah.
Is this in context to like me as a person?
It could be literally anything. Andrew Tate.
Okay, let's talk about Andrew Tate then. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that
Andrew Tate. What, like-
nonsensical,
You know,
non-thinking
the thing that
man.
I've actually picked up a lot from Andrew Tate, what is actually going on, is that we as the public...
Just by the way, guys, Tabitha and I have very, very different ideologies on a lot of things. Our opinions are always doing this. So
Probably
buckle
with
up.
misogyny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tabitha, yeah, carry on.
And masculinity. Well, but what I've actually, the more I watched Andrew Tate now, there are some things, of course, I don't like, oh, bro, you can't say that. You genuinely cannot say that. But I understand his entire ideology behind that. It's that, why is someone canceled over what they say, but the world is feeding the youth way more darker things than what he's actually saying? And he's literally bossing up young men who feel like they are not where they're at in life, and he actually tells them the step rules of how to do that. And it just so happens women are a huge part of his topic.
Just so happens.
And I realized something that actually kind of links to what Andrew Tate says and what my mentor told me, why men actually decide to become successful and to work hard.
What
And I
is
was like,
that?
why? It's for women. And I was like, that's impossible.
I mean, yeah.
I was like, no, think about it. Just think about it. You buy the Lamborghini, your niggas are gonna dap you up, right? They're all gonna dap you up.
Yeah.
But who's it gonna attract more?
The women.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not
And
fighting that.
Andrew Tate is the man that is teaching us young men that you first need to boss yourself up. And whatever you do, and it's okay to have a preference. The same way that women have preferences.
Are you saying you're pro Andrew Tate?
I'm pro Andrew Tate, big
Yeah,
time, times
yeah.
10, times 10,000.
Okay.
Why
I'm gonna
are
be
you
honest.
against Andrew Tate?
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I don't watch all of Andrew Tate's videos. I'm not gonna infest my mind with that nonsense. So I've seen enough of his footage and his content to know that the biggest problem with him is that he is unable to get his points across without objectifying a woman in some way or another.
Wait, he can't do that without objectifying women?
He always feels the need to make the objectifying woman his main point to get his points across. He always uses women as an object. You know what I'm saying? And that's my biggest problem with him. And my biggest problem with you being pro him is that it's not the rage against Andrew Tate isn't necessarily, from the little that I know, right? It's not necessarily what you're, it's not necessarily your ideology, but it's more the
Hustlers
fact
University.
that you cannot see a way to be respectful towards women in the way that you speak about them in order to encourage young men to be better versions of themselves. Because it's those same people who are like pro Andrew Tate who are going to be like, no, we need to teach our boys to respect women. We need to teach our boys to actually stop looking at women as objects of their satisfaction. We need to teach our boys to respect women as eggs and. But Nangu boy is watching Andrew Tate all I
can
Those
agree
are
with
the
you on
same-
that in the sense of I don't like the fact that he's disrespecting women. He does disrespect women. But what I pick up from Andrew Tate or what motivates you to become a high value type of man.
What's a dear God? What's a high value man? Tabile?
Let's talk about that social currency now.
What is a high value man?
High value. What is a high value man?
Don't you find the concept of putting of measuring a human being's value based off of societal standards crazy?
It's crazy, but it's the reality we live in.
No.
Think about it. It's crazy, but it's the reality that we actually live in.
You know what my biggest problem with labeling people as high value is that you omit someone the responsibility to actually have to be a decent human being because they believe that because they have certain traits and they carry certain monetary things and they have some sort of monetary value that therefore then they are high value man
and they think
and then
better.
they don't feel the need to have to actually be responsible for the nonsense that they do as a human being. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of high value men are very misogynistic. They're very problematic in the way that they go about things.
But does that make you a high value man?
No. But you know what society labels as high value, especially when it comes to man,
I wouldn't see that as high value.
Is not
men.
very internal.
People who are disrespectful, who are genuinely generic assholes because they have money. For me, that is not being of a high quality man or high value man.
But
that just means you have money.
But we're not talking. Remember, we're not talking about what you think and what I think. We're talking about a generic view.
Okay.
We're talking about society.
Yeah.
A high value human being is somebody who is the image of what society wants their man to be. Right. That is what a high value person is. A high value woman is the perfect girl that all niggas are like, yo, she's such a high value woman.
I want to get that woman, but I cannot because.
You know what I'm saying? A high value man is the man that every woman is like
desirable.
And for me, the problem with that is that you put so much emphasis on someone's achievements that you don't really give someone the opportunity to actually have to be accountable for their internal state. So you have a lot of men who internally are actually very much messed up people. They are horrible people. And men,
because men actually have it much harder in this world. That's true. A lot of men have it. Actually, all of us, we have it so much harder.
Men have it harder in context to
no,
what?
like if you listen to Jordan Peterson, Kevin Samuels, we actually have it harder. We have to become what we want. We have to struggle so much. We're not talking about gender-based violence or anything, but to become what you are. Being a man it's mad lonely. Yes, it is mad lonely being a man. Your emotions sometimes are not validated. Yeah. We are told sometimes you cannot cry, but now we're told you can cry. But then you do cry, then they make you have to be a pussy for crying.
Okay.
And you're like, what the fuck
Can
is
I ask
going
you a
on?
question?
Yeah.
Do you know what the funniest thing about what you're saying is? Men created patriarchy, and now they're crying that patriarchy
I'm not crying. I'm not talking about the sense of the patriarchy.
No,
but just being an
all
actual
of that,
man.
all of that comes
A
down
man.
to patriarchy.
How?
You not being able to cry is because you guys within yourselves
Told us
decided that
we
you
can't
need to be
cry.
strong.
Yes.
You guys not being able to do certain things without having a lot of money and not being seen as that nigga if you don't have money. It's because you guys placed value on a man is his cows. A man is his value. A man is this. So how do you create a system? And now that we're holding you accountable of the system that you created, all of a sudden the world is harder for you. The world that you guys run, it's literally a man's world. So if it's so hard, then change it because it's your world. The world is in a white man's hands.
Which comes back to the point that I'm making. Why do men strive to get that Lamborghini? Yeah, your boy's gonna dap you up, but it's for the woman.
Exactly. But then who decided that you guys must show your value as a human being via what you're able to bring to the table? Men.
It's been like that. It's the patriarchy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nah,
do you see what I'm saying?
I
so
see it.
for me, it's like a boohoo.
You made your own.
Y'all made your own bed, lie in it.
Lie in it.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why for me, a nigga who's like,
I think also the reason could be is because conditions back in time were much harsher than what we have right now.
In context too?
In the 1600s, 1500s, 1400s, all that way, it was mandatory for men to go to war.
Yeah, because
Right?
they decided women must stay at home, yeah.
Because someone just decided, I'm going to go conquer this piece of land. I
Yeah.
need men to go do it.
Yeah.
And in order for people to actually do that, you have to be as dangerous as you can possibly be. But
Yeah.
now we live in times where it's not necessarily like that. So now we're all left with the thoughts and everything of what it actually means to be a man. Because back then, that's what defined to be a man.
You know what's so crazy for me with men, and the reason I'm going to say this point is because my example, okay, let me make my example first, then I'll make my point.
Yes, ma'am.
Just imagine being born as a human being. You're born.
I
and
didn't
then
choose
you're
this
told-
life.
No. And then you're told by another human being that your value lies in how you can serve me, how you can do things for me. Your entire value as a human being, you are raised all in the name of you need to be able to seen as valuable to a man to serve him. So I'm actually raised as a slave for your satisfactory needs.
Female.
That's what, as a female, right? And then you get there. And now we have the 21st century where women are allowed to work, women are allowed to go outside. But now you get in there, and then once you're in there, every single human flaw of yours is used against you as a way of why men are better for the job, right? For example, a woman has period pains, she's literally dying, and then what's the situation? We have to give it to Tabide because there's a lot of inconveniences. I've heard somebody say properly, and it's a thing that's said in corporate a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot of inconveniences with putting women in authoritative positions because women are controlled by their emotions, right?
That's true.
Now, this is said by a man, the same people who a small thing like a woman not wanting to give them their number, throw a tantrum, yet we're controlled by our emotions.
TikTok the other day.
It's the craziest thing.
The other day.
It's the craziest
I
thing.
saw a TikTok
Think
the
something
other day.
small as like man flu. Men believe that their flu is worse than ours, when it's actually not that. It's just we have a higher tolerance. Women have a higher tolerance for pain. Women have a higher tolerance for a lot of the nonsense that we deal with. And I just feel like if men were put in the situation, men are omitted the responsibility of having to think so many times. For example, right? We could be chilling in a setting like this, and we all know that it's time to eat, whatever, right? You guys are like, let's go order pizza and then go to McDonald's. When I'm gonna come up with the most logical thing of, guys, why don't we just go to one place? Why don't we just this? You see it in so many situations where men are omitted. They don't have to actually be responsible. They don't have to apply themselves a lot of times because life has given you the privilege to say somebody else is going to do it. Somebody else is going to think of something better. Every single man, the woman that he wants to marry is not a woman who waits to be told what to do. A lot of men...
I can beg to differ with you
no,
on
but
that
here,
point.
here, let me make my point first. A lot of men want to marry a woman who brings out the best in them. They want to marry a woman who's going to make them the best version of themselves. They want to marry a woman who's actually proactive in thinking. You don't want a woman who's going to sit down and not be able to get 1 + 1 is equal to 2, right?
That's true.
You want a woman who's going to be like,
Why is it
here's
equal
the
to MX plus
situation.
C?
Yeah, we all know in our households when shit is hitting the fan or when a decision needs to be made, your father says go to your mom first. Right? Because she has to do the thinking. And then he just has to bandwagon off of that. But at the end of the day, he's the face of whenever that is beneficiary to all of us.
I think what you're getting to is the fact that women they've been given the task of doing the small parts of the thinking, the small bits. The men do the larger parts.
The no part.
No, they do. Because think about it. You say we have no responsibility. Some of us, we actually want to be great, and it's our responsibility
No,
to
I'm
do
not
that
saying you
for
don't have
ourselves.
responsibilities. I'm saying that the world allows you to not have to take responsibility. Not that you don't have responsibilities. The world allows you
us
to not have to take responsibility. A lot of things that you do that are very toxic as a human being are excused as he's a man, he's a guy.
Okay.
It's just like that. That's how life is. You know what I'm saying? If you go and you touch someone inappropriately in a work setting and she cries, she's throwing a tantrum. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's just a thing of like, you guys don't actually have to take a lot of responsibility for the things that you guys do, which is why then you become the kind of men that you become. But then in the same breath, then you cry when the patriarchy that you've created requires you to be accountable. What do you want? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're sitting there and we're in a club and you're the nigga that's got all the bottles, you've got all the money, and all the girls are coming there, all of a sudden it's, oh my God, the girls only love me for my money, the girls only love me. You're presenting yourself as literally an object that I can use for money. What do you want from me? Yes. Do you want me to sit back and be like, no, let me not use the object that's presenting itself as that. Let me actually care about what he thinks and how he feels. And in the moment I'm like, how are you feeling? What's wrong? Nah, I don't really talk about my emotions like that. It's just not my thing. Guys, I don't know if men think that's attractive. I don't know if men think it's attractive to not have to talk about your emotions and to not have any level of EQ, but it's not. We are adults. Get therapy.
Swadala,
get therapy today. Please.
That's why we have sisters here today. And ladies and gentlemen, that was What Do You Bring to the Table? Let's give it up for Neo Rapetsoa. Otherwise, she doesn't love that name, Mahuma.
I love my name. I just don't want everybody to be calling. Please don't be calling me Mahuma in the streets, okay? Thank you.
So what's your final word?
My final word for the day. Oh my God, I don't like when you put me on the spot. I can't.
I always do that.
It's just not. It's just not my thing, is it?
It's not.
It's not my thing.
It's not.
I don't really have one right now. You made me say so many things. You got me worked up.
I'll give the word of the day. It's Dembe and Uztande. Tanko.
You cannot find replacement types of statements I be making. Khuzuga monthly, daily funds, escaping, silent vacate. Pulling up funds and statements on the table, time to shake it. Who need a plan to make it? Hands are naked, I'm in